Hi, it's me, Carbundance. Welcome to my 365 days of eating disorder to recovery. Yeah, so we're also going to go into the 5 top tips, or in general, the top reasons why you're not making progress in your recovery. So stay tuned. So this was 1 year ago where I was having grapes and watermelon for breakfast. And I also ate the watermelon first, I still remember, and then the grapes, because, food combining and watermelon digest the quickest. And just everything kind of was regimented. It had to be done in a certain way and certain order. This was the next meal, like apples and dates. And I was just, for those who are wondering, this is quite a step back in my recovery. I wasn't really in real recovery before already, but here I just try to be as raw as possible again, eating as much fruit as possible, and being very pure and just getting more into the orthorexic mindset. That doesn't mean that the foods themselves were the problem, but the combination of me eating these foods with the mindset and the anorexia firing in my brain was the problem. And so that was really harmful for me to eat that way. And also I would never place a rule on myself to have to eat this way ever again. It was just not balanced at all, not even for someone who never had a restrictive eating disorder, in my humble opinion. So this was a banana smoothie with, you saw what was in there, like strawberry greens and stuff also that I basically got out of the organic waste and stuff that David didn't want to eat or something. It's something that the eating disorder makes you do. And this was the weighed out dinner. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this screenshot that I made on that day 1 year ago from Freely the Banana Girl. She said, "We are growing 15 pounds coconuts here." And that's amazing. I just want to make something clear here, because I don't want you guys to get the impression that I'm just against this whole, I'm against eating healthy and whole foods and high carb and high fruit and raw till 4-ish type of thing. That's not the point I want to make. The point, and I see this, I'm saying this because actually David and I are growing these types of coconuts, exactly these types of coconuts as well, on our property in the Philippines, where we're going to go as soon as possible again. And so I just want you guys to know, I just love all of this. But the thing is, I will never ever place rules on myself again in terms of black and white, and it has to be done out of fear. You know what I mean? I will also have my chocolate and crisps, or chips if you want. So some impressions of what I ate a week ago. Here, it's just some things, but I just had some of this Haagen-Dazs. In my humble opinion, the best type of ice cream there is. This was Dulce, how do you say that? Dulce de leche, or so, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's with very premium caramel. Just so great. And I did not have the whole tub, but I would have if I wanted. I did have the whole tub in my extreme hunger phase. This was a bun that I had from the bakery with eggs in there as well also. This is something I just included this because I want you guys to know this is something I ate a lot in my extreme hunger phase. This was something I craved so much, just a crumble cake with fillings, nut fillings and stuff. Whatever is good for your soul, do that. And that, in my humble opinion, also 1 year ago, was being completely rule-free, and probably is for you if you're watching my videos. The top reasons you're not making progress in your recovery: only eating your safe foods. Exactly, that's basically what I did 1 year ago. when I was in Quasi Recovery and not in real recovery. I wanted to be in real recovery so bad and thought it was only about the calories, but it was not. I was only eating my safe foods that the eating disorder approved, and not the complete opposite, not the scariest things, right? Then, second point, doing it alone. That's something I really approve of as well. I just, like, for me, my mentorship I basically got from people like Becky Freestone, Tabitha Farrar, Emily Spency, like people who just really went for it radically. And I mean, I would also encourage you to get some mentorship in person with someone if you feel like you cannot do it alone. Another reason for you not making progress in your recovery is still trying to be vegan or keto. Yes, it's kind of my story, right? I just tried to stay vegan for far too long in order for me to really go for real recovery. It basically made me stay in quasi recovery, me wanting to stay vegan as much as possible. And so I really had to let that go in order to really get rid of all of the fears. Gaining weight but not increasing body fat. So true, guys. The whole building muscle thing is a problem for recovery. So many influencers and people are out there claiming that they are fully recovered, but completely went from one obsession of being skinny to just another obsession of being curvy and muscular and not gaining fat but only muscle and stuff. That's a problem. Then emotionally restricting food or not fully embracing it. Yes, so it's like you kind of hit the wall and you feel like, well, yes, I am committed, but I'm just emotionally, I just can't seem to get myself eating unrestrictedly, like fully unrestrictedly. And I think that's just some commitment for me is doing it anyway. Like, commitment does not have to do with emotions. It's just basically getting it done and taking action. So dinner tonight, loaded sweet potatoes. I'd have found this meal really hard in my ED because I would have seen the cheese or sour cream as extras. I was the same when I was in my eating disorder. I'm so glad I challenged this rule and forced myself to eat beyond minimum versions. Food tastes so much better. It allows me to join in. It's less weird. I'm more satiated after a meal. I don't think about food between eating it because I'm satisfied. And yes, 100% that's how I felt as well. Yes to cake, always. That's also something I basically, if you need some rules to act by, then make yourself these types of rules. Like, if someone offers you something, the normal thing you would have done before, like what the eating disorder would have shouted out or answered, is like, no. But it's time for you to start to say yes to all of the opportunities. It's time for you to start saying yes in order to do the opposite of what the eating disorder would have done before. That's how I approached real recovery, and that's how I got closer to real recovery, what you're also going to see throughout this whole year, every day. So I encourage you to watch these videos daily, because it's just one example for you guys to see how someone got closer to the real recovery and then finally really stepped into real recovery later in the year. So thank you for subscribing, and also keep in mind that on Mondays we have a live stream, so you do not want to miss this. If you want to have your questions answered instantly, I will make a community post for you guys so you guys know, and you can keep that in mind. See you tomorrow. Bye.